All right, welcome everyone. This is the second game of the matchup between Chris Gogolen and Steven Cellucci in the top eight of the 2018 U.S. Star Wars CCG National Championship. I'm joined here by Jan Westergaard, who's going to be commentating this match with me.
Hi guys.
And if you missed the first game, it was a matchup of Steven Cellucci's Dark Senate versus Gogolen's Diplo, and Cellucci was able to battle pretty effectively in space and get a lot of first strike damage and yeb damage and wear down.
He won that. He was winning that game pretty handily.
He had upper 20s life force. He made a big mistake leaving a lone stinger that was not virtual, so it had a pilot and got overflowed for 14. So he ended up winning the match by 14, or the game by 14. So now. In order to win the match, Chris Gogolen's going to need to win this by at least 14 to tie and go to lost piles, or 15 or more to win outright. So the start here is that thing's operational for Chris Gogolen, which is a deck he played yesterday, and then a Tatooine careful planning start for Mr. Cellucci. He starts Tatooine and the Slave Quarters, which he's going to use to pull Shmi, who pulls 3PO. And then his three effects are Walkling, the Like My Father Before Me, and I Must Be Allowed to Speak. Jan, what do you think about this match, or do you have any idea what?
I really have no idea what Cellucci's doing here. This is not a deck I've seen.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this deck, and the reason why I'm going to pull up a card here for everyone that's central to the deck. You're going to see in just a few minutes. It's a virtual card named Yane. Which one's the virtual? Is this V? Yes, this is the virtual version. So Yane is from V1, and she says that if opponent deploys a character to same or adjacent site, you can activate one. While with Amidala, also Padme, they're the same persona, forfeit +1, and once per turn you can peek at the top card of your force pile and reserve deck, return one card to each pile. So what you do is you peek at your force and reserve, and you can swap them if you want, or you can leave it. Well, Like My Father Before Me says, once per turn you can put a card from your hand onto your force pile. So what you do is you go, oh, I've got this Destiny 6 or 7 in my hand, I'm going to put that on my force pile.
Oh,
Yane, sitting with Padme, I'm going to peek and swap that on top of my reserve deck.
What happened?
Tom Haid won by 2 differential on time versus Werf, so they're going to have a very close second game to determine who's going to win that match. So Yane, lets you Luke effect a card and then you swap it on top. You get basically, as you said, a free sneak attack every turn. When she's with Padme. So
you just got to set him up somewhere. So is that set
exactly.
up at the farm?
So what he's going to do is pull the farm and start setting up dudes there. I think
along with Shmi and
Cellucci loves this deck.
And
and so anyway, you're gonna see her in a little bit. Talking about this match in general, what are you posting them on the forums too? Oh, all right, yeah. So we got. So I'm gonna nominate Queso Sauce right now to go into the live update for day 2 thread to relay what I'm telling people, because Hayes, the tournament director, does not have any internet in there, so he's not updating on the forums. Only the stream gets it. Queso, you go post this on the forums. Updates: Reed won game 1 by 21. Cellucci won game 1 by 14. Haid won game 1 by 2. Dark Combat Pete won game 1 by 13. Do you want the lost count tiles? No, don't care about lost count. That was all. That was all of them. Okay, yeah. So go post that, because apparently the stream.
I don't know if you wanted all the lost pile stuff too, but that's probably.
I think that's good. Yeah. John Anderson asked, "Can we fix the decks they're playing on the left?" I don't know what that sentence means. Can you fix the decks they're playing on the left? Left.
Are you laying down or are you upside down?
Queso said, "You talk too fast, Joe."
Oh, you haven't updated the text.
The titles. Oh yeah. The
text, not decks.
Yeah. The decks. Yeah. Thank you, John. That's a good point. This is obviously not Senate anymore, so this is Tatooine Careful Planning Virtual Yane deck, and there and then versus Chris Gogolen's Dark Side TTO. Thanks, John, for catching that. So Cellucci pulls. It looks like he has a speak to pull Jedi Council Chambers, or maybe that came from hand. It looked like it came from reserve. He'll just reserve, or he'll show it. He pulls Smee, who pulls 3PO. She deploys free to the site, and she pulls 3PO, and so he'll pay 2 for that. Probably reveal a speak from hand to pull that. I think generally how this particular match, Yane has a lot of interesting options because of that action I described. So it's a very flexible deck.
Yeah, so does he use any other cards to exploit that, like an On the Edge or anything?
Yeah, so on the edge, definitely Calfal is great because you're like, I put a 7 on top and evac control to limit us to 1, and Calfal reduces yours to 0.
I'm trying to think if Lightside has any kind of boss with mortar gun type cards where drawing a specific destiny can be hugely beneficial to you, but I'm
not necessarily. But a lot of it's just like your normal tricks, but guaranteeing you're hitting and to be able to sorry about the mess and things like that.
I mean, obviously very strong interactions, being able to stack a card on top of your deck every turn.
Yeah, so John Michael, one of Cellucci's good friends, has been building this
similar text as well. That
Smee subtracts 1 from each of their destiny.
I thought with 3PO she could also do
I can pull it up.
Weird.
And Shmi can take 3PO in while in a battle. Subtracts 1 from each opponent's battle destinies. So Cellucci goes Luke with Saber to Endor to just start putting on drains and pressure. He's probably going to do. He did Luke because most of his other characters, Leia, Lando, will go over to Tatooine. That'll maximize his use pile pulls while still letting him maximize his drains. He gives up the use pile pull with Luke, but he'll get more use pile pulls from his other characters. Yeah. I think in general how this match is going to go. Or what I would be looking for, expecting from both players, is Chris Gogolen to set up as many ships as he can, including an independent ship at the Tatooine system, so that he can draw multiple destiny, set up that thing's operational, obviously, and move the Death Star to Tatooine so he can start doing TTO damage and then drawing a bunch of battle destiny, super lasering any capitals if there is, and
so what kind of space is Cellucci running in here? Mostly capitals, I would imagine?
Yes.
Home 1 kind of thing?
Acclimator, actually.
Acclimators, really?
So Acclimator adds 1 to attrition, and for each piloted Republic one. So basically just to add an extra to attrition as a capital to put Calfal on. Cellucci's going to be looking to limit him with evac and do the Calfal trick and try and then draw...
Right,
use Anakin in space.
When you can make it
Calfal,
so both players only draw 1, then you get Calfal there, and
Calfal's there's to a 0.
You know what your draw is going to be.
Yeah,
that could, if you can get that working, that could
one thing that can help with that is a close call used to make him redraw. So then there's obviously the new Canceller Rescue in the Clouds to cancel that.
So
you've got some counter wards.
Evac control isn't effective.
Oh, that's
right?
true. That's true. If he's evac'd.
So we'll see how quick you can find that card, because I think you're right. Evac control is going to be a pretty key card for this game.
Yeah. So he plays Fett in Slave 1 and Ozzel and Jer Jarrod. And he waited. He didn't play them his first turn.
For Jer Jarrod, which playing it safe, I guess.
Yeah, he didn't want to risk going to the bunker and having a spy kill it and just instantly lose the match. So he played it a turn safe. That's also risky, though, because he is behind by 14.
I feel like that's an okay play when you're on game 1, but when you're down by 14, I feel like you might want to. It might be acceptable to take a few more risks.
Yeah, but you also don't want to just instantly lose. It's tough.
If I was in his shoes, I would have no idea what to expect from a deck like this. Also, you don't see a lot of Tatooine CRV, especially with
absolutely. Yeah. So Queso mentions Gogolen does have spies, so he can attack the slave quarters. Yeah, whether that's Erica or U3PO, and then drop in a Maul or something like that. So Cellucci does have to watch.
I imagine Cellucci's going to be setting up at the farm pretty soon and consolidating his characters there.
Absolutely.
So Gogolen's definitely got a window for that, but it might be closing real quick here.
So I think Gogolen's best chance is So Cellucci does have the anti-TTO effect, the new Destiny 7 that's going to cap TTO to 1.
Flashing through.
I think his best chance will be the Death Star Super Laser, because that hitting acclimators, Cellucci's not going to be able to keep up with if he's losing a ship every battle and he's only got a handful of them.
Unless he's got a Theron net or something, which I wouldn't expect.
Right. So that Super Laser is going to be key, and if Cellucci can get him to top deck it or something like that, but with Deirdre being able to pull it, it looks like.
Are we sure Gogolen runs the Super Laser?
I'm not positive.
TTO builds do.
I'm not positive, but I think I would. I think it's worth running right now because
there's
a lot of light capital ships right now with Diplo and stuff like that I think it's well worth running. So I would be surprised if he didn't right now, because there is a lot of light capitals in the meta. But I think I just saw the third sector in his hand. I think he had to draw into it last turn, and Deirdre pulls the Super Laser, so that will be. What's a better matchup? What? Oh, I think if Dark had no Super Laser, I would like Light here. Because of the Super Laser, I think that's gonna be tough.
Because of the 3 destiny to hit.
Yeah, because it can just keep hitting those capitals.
Sounds like most of Cellucci's space is capitals.
Right. So I think, but Cellucci also won by 14, and so if he can whittle him down enough on ground and in space, and he's got BB-8 to ping, and he's got Rose to ping retrieve 1. He's got the on the edge, so he can, even if he is kicked out of space, he can still be doing damage, and he can still whittle him down below 14.
Is Edge in his hand already, do we think?
I don't know. I don't think so.
So I wonder if Chris knows if it's solid right now.
If he saw it in a verify and is going to pull code clearance.
He just verified.
Code clearance would hurt because it would shut off Rose too.
Right. Well, he might not have seen it, so
Yeah.
maybe he got lucky.
Queso said no ships in Light Star Reserve. There was an acclimator. Tantive was asked if that would be huge. It's nice, but if there's a Super Laser, it can fire at the Tantive.
It's real
it
good
doesn't
if you
matter
can get
where.
it early before they got their TTO out and threaten a big drain at the system and make some awkward plays.
Yeah, but if you're not in the first few turns, then it's not that much different than any other ship. It's good if you have to run because you can run there.
Right.
And then if they follow, you can run away, but it's not.
Because
yeah,
they're adding destinies there.
They're adding destinies and maybe have the Super Laser, so it's good. But I think Tantive's great right now, but it's mostly for Star Killer base at map or Death Star versus Set Your Course or Coruscant versus ISB or Black Sun.
Definitely good at that one for sure.
So there's a lot of uses for it. I like it a lot for light right now. TTO's it's good, but I don't know that it would change the match that much. So Cellucci moves, plays Chewie, gets a use pile pull, moves out Smee,
and see what he grabbed with Chewie? I missed it.
I didn't. So Deirdre pulls a sector, and Gogolen doesn't have to find a system because he's going to be going to Tatooine, and he's already got that independent ship with Fett. He's got Alzal aboard, which threatens a command, and since Fett gets his swap once per game, he'll be able to use that to either add a destiny or limit, or he could get pull a spin to get around evac / KFC. If they spin, you can't use KFC to reduce. If they spin and draw another one. So it looks like he's gonna. I would imagine he'll pay 3 to drain 2 here, unless he just really has a use for all his force setting up heavy at Tatooine. If he can play like that thing's operational and an extra ship and move over, and so he doesn't have 3 to drain, I think that's okay here. But otherwise, I would favor just paying the 3. It's a drain of 2.
I think it would depend on what's in your hand.
Yeah.
But TTO's.
So he does drain, and Yane is top deck, and Jedi Lev.
You want updates on what people are playing for the other 2 games? Should we already have all the?
I know what everyone's playing. Yeah.
Does he run multiple Yane, or did that just shut his whole thing down?
No, he's got more.
Steven Cellucci doesn't leave the house with any less than 18 Yane.
Yeah.
See if you can find the purple card here.
I think probably a few people watching hearing that Yane got some gears grinding ideas about how you can use. Imagine having a 7 on top of your deck whenever you want. Like,
assuming you got one in your hand to put there.
Yeah, but then you can track a lot, and
Especially when you're starting 3PO.
When you
This is the kind of deck I love. Where
yeah,
there's
you
tons
you
of
pull
pile
3PO
manipulation
and you
stuff.
get Luke out early, and then you can just like cycle, but it's not just cycle and having to track. It's literally just putting it down and moving it over. If you're a newer player and not good at tracking, it's pretty easy when you just place it from your hand onto your force pile and then place it from force pile onto reserve.
Even I can track that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's in here.
You guys keep like upping the Yane talk, and then I was like selling my Yanes for like $5.
Brian Fred's cornering the market on Yane, so get him now
He's
if you
doing
want
some
him.
insider trading here.
You know what this is?
We've no,
Nope.
it is not. It's a Star Wars thing.
Yep. No
No,
problem.
no worries. So the yeah, we've tried Yane in a whole bunch of
fishing
different
out
maps.
the,
So
TTO
so
effect.
John Michael, yeah, he uses Walkling to grab that because it can deploy on a vehicle, so it deploys on another card, so you can grab it with Walkling.
Oh wow! I
and
didn't
then
catch that interaction.
and then you can obviously then just play it on table to limit TTO to 1. So he did. Gogolen did pay to drain, deployed the third sector, TTO, moved over a ship,
Yep.
moved over the Death Star. So Cellucci pulls out the anti-TTO effect that will cap that TTO damage to 1 as long as he occupies 2 battlegrounds, which he currently does. But Yane, yeah, has been John Michael and Steven Cellucci have been working on Yane decks for years, and this Tatooine CRV one is a real good one. She's been tried in QMC and in WAP and in just like
Yeah, it seems like kind of a hard thing to piece together. Getting Padme and Yane, like a QMC, obviously can fish the cards out
sure.
that you need, but in a deck like this,
if
like,
you've got multiples of each in Control Tunnel and you're
Yeah,
using
you're
3PO to
cycling
cycle,
with 3PO,
yeah,
eventually
and now
they'll put it
rescuing the
together.
clouds,
Oh, right.
like it comes together pretty quick when you need it. But it's a very decision intensive deck because it's always deciding when and how do you use her and what's the best way to then attack based on that and space and ground, and it's very one time I was playing a game online on Jemp with a Yane deck, probably very similar to this, against Steve Brinston, and I did a conference call with Cellucci and John Michael, and we were just talking through like, all right, what's in my hand, what's this, how do we, because I was just kind of practicing the deck, learning how to play it, and it's just there's so many decisions every turn that it does take a lot of it has a very high ceiling for the deck, but it takes a lot of intense
like Steven spent
decisions.
for a drain of 2 there.
Yeah,
looks
so he
like.
drained with Luke and played the TTO effect, and now I think he's just going to draw and start trying to put together a space package, or be looking for more damage or retrieval sources, either like
Mystery's looking really strong.
a Rose to go with that Chewie, or a BB-8 to go with that Chewie, or dudes who use Pile Pull to find those cards, because I think he wants to start. If he can get the damage even close
Right,
to
you
even,
use the use Pile
because
Pull
he's
to
up by
set up
14.
Yane.
Yeah, use
That
Pile
makes
Pull,
sense,
exactly.
yeah.
There's Brian Fred says Mishki's looking pretty good right now, though he did lose the first one by 21, so that's going to be a uphill climb.
He probably has like 30 to 40 cards left in his return deck, and pretty good.
They just started though, right?
Yeah. I mean,
What's-
he killed Zizor, Emperor.
Oh, so it's thrown him. Oh, and there comes a super laser, so that is going to be tough for Cellucci
Yeah,
to
it's
deal
gonna
with.
make it real hard.
So
Gonna be running
Mishki
most
is
of the
playing
time, I
Throne Room
expect.
versus Black Sun, and I've been testing Black Sun a lot lately. I think I played 15 games on it with it on Jemp in the last like 2 weeks, and it's such a fun deck. It's so strong against a lot of stuff, but Mains is just real bad. Mains is, as you guys saw yesterday, if you were watching the stream, so he pays 3 to drain 1, and he makes him lose 1 to TTO. Anakin and Rey come off the top. Mains are just so bad for aliens, whether that's Court or My Kind of
Was that a
Scum
drain
or
of
Black
2, I
Sun.
think, maybe?
A drain of 2 and then 1 to
Oh, right, 'cause
TTO.
it's 2 icons stuff.
Yep. And then he plays Image of a Dark Lord on the indoor site to make that drain -1. Mishki is not playing the same decks. We got a question from the chat. He's playing the same set your course yesterday, but yesterday he played Watch Your Step, and today he's playing Throne Room Farm. But that Throne Room, he's playing against Reed Smith's Black Sun, and apparently he's killed Shizor, and Mains is doing its thing against aliens. So we'll see.
Total ground presence, and there's like a Mist Hunter, a Phalanx Fist, and like 5 pilots. And draw their fires on the table, so that should be interesting.
All right, so Cellucci activates, and now he can basically pay
curious
3
to
to
see how
drain 1
Cellucci
at each
plays this
site. Did the super laser get deployed? I'm assuming.
Indoor's still at 2. The Dr. May, because he has a lightsaber. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
No.
think the super laser's deployed. It's just off to the side.
2 minus 1 is 1. This is good math. Yeah, so he can pay 3 to drain 1 at each site. That's
It doesn't feel very
that's
good.
sort of, it doesn't feel good, but if the super laser is out, he saw him pull it. So even if it's not out, he has to be worried about that.
I would be draining for 1.
He could just go to indoor. Yeah, you're up by 14, I think.
Still plays a lot of
And TTO right
Yeah.
now, the only damage they're doing is drain 2 and ping 1. They're doing 3. So if you're paying 6 to do 2, you're a little behind, but
Yeah, you just got to get him down below that 14.
you got to get him down. And then
So is he not, has he passed his...
the other option, I think, is you go Acclimator over to indoor and you
that's
run
his-
as much as you
obviously
can in
can't play the
space.
Tatooine. You just have to play cat and mouse in space.
Right, and you just eat the drain in space, eat the TTO.
His hand is over.
I don't know if it's in his hand now or what, but and then set up your Rose retrieval, set up your BB-8 ping, and basically, so he plays an
There's the
evac
evac.
control. Looks like he's debating.
I don't like using those cards.
Brian Fred doesn't like how much life force those suck out
Well, I mean,
if
I
you don't
see,
use them.
I see so many people, like Reed Smith uses them great. I assume you do too, but like when I see something like when Royce played it in our matchup, I was just like, yes, 3 cards he's not getting back, or at least he'll get 1 out of 3.
Yeah,
But it's 1 on the table too.
yeah, it can be a dead card.
Every time he deployed the card on the finalizer to immunity less than 4, I was like, yeah, that's life, man. Keep playing stuff. I probably had no business winning that matchup.
Yeah, it is a significant life force investment when you're.
So, sorry, Clash and Yane get stacked on evac, and
So now you have to fear any guy with a lightsaber because you can just pull the Clash and use it.
yeah.
Yep. Now I can just drop a guy, battle, pick up the Clash, and play it
USA
right
Gamer
away.
says evac is scary. I don't know how many battles we'll see. That's true, but I think we'll see a small handful.
I was thinking
and
we would see some before the super laser thing.
so he
happened,
does do the
obviously.
acclimator, and I think evac's smart because Gogolen just pulled Baron. Or just pulled Saber 1, sorry, and with short range, and that was grabbed. He grabbed short range, and so now it's gonna be harder to spin around. Calfal's great with Yane,
And evac, yeah, that Cal foul and the evac.
but even without Yane, just
nicely.
tracking. Did he?
Being able to Calfal.
So he drops Yane, Padme, and Calfal aboard. So now he can Yane,
And Luke.
he can Luke effect and Yane it, and Calfal can reduce and he can evac. So he can do that combo we were just talking about, and he's just gonna run from the super laser,
The Acclimator.
train 1-1.
I was wondering the same thing.
Essentially, so the acclimator adds 1 to attrition. It's I think it's a 2 destiny. It's 2 destiny. You need a capital for Calfal, and Tantive's good. There's not really another capital. Bright Hope's only good with something else. Spiral doesn't do anything if you're not reacting. There's just not a
Profundity
ton of
doesn't
good.
Really fit in there. You don't.
Tantive.
Profundity is okay, but
Tantive's good.
I mean, just the random +1 attrition can be really good, especially because if you stack like a 6 Jedi Luke and then that adds 1 to attrition, like Dr. E doesn't cover 6. Yeah, 8's a magic number against light. I think 7 is against dark because like Dr.
Yeah,
E
those-
and Tarkin are both 6s. But Fett's a 7. If you can get up to 8, and that's why Anakin is great on there too. Oh, there he puts Rey aboard. So Rey's going to add 1 to the total, and so if he can get up to 8, Acclimator adding 1, that +1 attrition comes up a lot.
And he's got a crap load of forfeit.
So yeah, someone just asked if he has 3 Yanes, and that is a confirmed. 1 was lost, 1 is on evac, and 1 is on the acclimator. So there's at least 3.
What destiny, John? 3?
A 3. And the other amazing part about her is she lets you activate 1 when they deploy a dude to same or related site. So like on QMC, when you're thin on force and they're like Maul and you're like activate 1, and they're like Sidious and you're like activate 1, so you can do all your evasion. It's really useful. Or when she's sitting there at the farm and they deploy like Blizzard 4, dude, you're just like activate, and you have force to do tricks and stuff. Gogolen is questioning if everything was paid for, and then Rey gets her use pal pull, and so now Cellucci I think is looking pretty good because he's
You can set up damage.
he can set up damage. Even if it's plink damage, he's not taking much. He's taking 2 at Tatooine and 1 for TTO because he has the effect. So he's taking 3, and he's only gonna do 2, but it's free. I just talk a lot, so it's good having you chime in.
Well,
Either
you're
way.
answering Brian Fred, who he doesn't have a
Oh,
microphone.
yeah, I
so
don't know
it's
if
kind
they're
of a
hearing
one-sided
Fred in there.
conversation. Yeah.
Fred's pretty loud, but yeah, I don't know if no one's commented that it's not making sense, but we'll see. So I think he just deployed someone else. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Gogolen responds to this. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think. Oh, and there's a
Whoa.
or used. He's counting.
Used Grimtash? Wow,
Yep.
that can make it real tough. For,
Yeah,
for
that
Gogolen
might
to
set
mount
Gogolen
a
back a lot.
counterattack on that space presence he just deployed. I think the super laser's on table. You just can't see it off to the right side of the screen there.
Or at the very least, he saw him pull it with Muff Rod. So even if it wasn't on table, you have to not go to the Death Star or the system it's orbiting, because he could just deploy it from hand and do it if it's not on table. But I think I'm betting it is. All right, so Gogolen checks what cards are put used. You're always allowed to see that. And
the order of them as well, which can be
correct.
huge.
Yeah. It looked like in the hand that remained for Gogolen, the 8 cards that remained, there was a force push, so that will help dig out something. The problem, though, is he has to put 2 cards back, and he doesn't necessarily have a lot of spare cards now to do that.
Well, in my case, Monarch always leaves the crappy cards in your hand. It's Chewie the Bowcaster with Shmee.
Yeah, Bowie. And so, yeah, a Maul could come down and hit. If he has, like, Maul and Doctory, that could be real strong at the farm.
He's been leaving that site pretty light. I feel like he's playing like he's got a Hujix. But
true. He's also been having to use all his force. An Acclamator was just top decked.
So that was another ping of 1, drain of 2.
Yep, ping 1, drain 2, and Harpsters wants an update on the current status of other games. We'll do another one of those in about 10 minutes. Gogolen trying to decide what his line of attack is.
Yeah, I'm curious if he's going to play some ships and attack here, or just. I mean, you don't want to move back.
It looks like Saber 1 was probably taken away. Which
he's got a Bossk and Houndstooth. It looks
so
like.
He would have to. He does have a short range, but it's grabbed, so he'd have to use another short range to pull that out. I think what he's going to want to do is try and get multiple destinies. But he needs that.
Baron Fell, it looks like, in his hand.
Okay.
That's that front card, so we can fish him with combat response.
But then he can't get Bossk. So the problem is he needs to save that spin to get around evac, because otherwise KFC just bones him.
Yeah,
so
here comes the Baron.
What?
Yeah, he took away Saber 1 with the Grimtash, but the Baron stayed in his hand, so he just flashed the Baron to pull the Saber 1
Harpster said, for his update, he said specifically on an individual that does not have hands. He's wondering about his buddy Werfs. Werfs lost by 2. They went to time and he had 2 less life force, and they just started their other game like 10 minutes ago. So it's going to be a tight match, him and Tom Hade.
Do we know what Tom Hade's dark side is?
Tom Hade's dark side is Black Sun,
So
and
Tig
Werf's
versus
light side is Old Allies.
Oh, right.
And that's not a great match for Old Allies.
I thought he was playing that Tig deck.
He played Tig yesterday.
My bad. My mistake.
He should have played that Tig deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows it.
He would have been so happy to see Black Sun with Tig, because Mains is good against Black Sun.
So he plays Baron to Tatooine to keep the
yeah.
TTO damage going while
he didn't have enough
in front
to
of
be able to with both
Endor.
with Baron and Houndstooth in hand. You can only flash once per turn, so he couldn't get enough to attack
Not
Endor.
enough to initiate the battle.
Yes.
Does he have there? Is that Conquest?
No,
I think it's the Slave.
it's just Slave 1 with Gerard, Ozzel, and Fett.
Yeah.
So he moves. He plays Baron and move the dude from Tatooine over to block that drain 1. But now Gogolen's going to drain, or Cellucci's going to drain 1/1 on the ground, and I don't even think he needs to force any sort of issue in space. I do think he needs to stay at Endor because of that super laser. Obviously, so he drains 1/1. Oh, and Dooku and Sidious come off top, so that's going to be a lot of Gogolen's ground.
That's going to make it harder for him to keeping him honest down there.
I don't think Cellucci should battle. There's no need to, because he just needs to stay alive in space.
Well,
And he can't run to Tatooine, though, because that's super laser. So it might be good to whittle him down before Gogolen can deploy more, especially if he can...
The nice thing is you can kind of hide from the super laser at Endor, because Gogolen is very disincentivized to move his Death Star back to Endor.
So I think what Gogolen's going to do is pile everything except one ship.
Right.
And if he moves over in front of that one ship, he can super laser. Gogolen does have enough force save to play his short range.
Random blowout HCF comes down.
Looks like we got about 50 people watching the stream.
Nice.
Hope you guys are enjoying. And yeah, let us know if
looked like Solo was just added
questions.
to the pile at Endor.
All right, so
that's an extra battle. That's nice.
yeah, Ray is there, so Solo will add an extra Destiny. So maybe he doesn't evac, and it's just 2-2, and he loses some fodder.
And does he have
I mean, evac
no
seems,
Skywalker
evac
there,
seems
so Padme's
strong
not
though when
working
you
yet.
can do the Calfal trick. Or does Calfal not there yet?
Calfal's there,
yeah, so
but if he doesn't want him to spin around it and he wants to
right,
draw
the
his own
spin
Destiny and just
complicates
clear
it,
out
yeah.
stuff, the spin complicates it. So he plays a BB-8 to...
definitely not attacking?
No, he plays BB-8 to ground and just draws some. So now they're even on damage. It's 1 to TTO versus 1 BB-8 and drain 2 at Tatooine versus drain 1 and 1 at the sites. So Cellucci's happy with that. He can sit. The onus is on Gogolen to do something, and that's hard when he got
game
that
2 is a
got
match play is
Grimtoshed.
always kind of warp gameplay a little bit.
They do, but that's kind of fun. I like.
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
it's
interesting.
You have to
It changes
figure
the
out
strategy.
a different way of thinking,
Yeah.
and it's interesting.
It's the most pure form of Star Wars, I feel.
Brian Fred says match play is the most pure form of Star Wars.
Yeah. Nick Reich thinks he should battle in space to reduce the dark side space presence as long as he has forfeit fodder. But the problem is, if he loses the fodder in his turn, then on dark side's turn he loses key stuff.
Dark side adds more stuff, and then your fodder is starting to run
so
low.
he doesn't need to battle. There's
Yeah, I agree with Joe. I think he's better off just sitting and trying to grind this match out.
Definitely.
Keep forcing that damage on the ground as much as he can. Which obviously BB-8 is a good help there.
yeah, and then Rose is essentially negating -1 damage if he can get her. So last night, Cellucci. So yesterday, Gogolen played TTO, and last night Cellucci and I were working on his decks, and I was like, take out this relatively unprotected. I was like, you don't need. It's so hard to cut your 61st card, and he's like, I will feel so stupid. I will hate life if Chris Gogolen doesn't switch from TTO and I don't play the counter card. I'm just gonna, and I was like,
Gogolen just pulled
fine.
a force push to the front of his hand that looked like, and now he's checking his reserve deck with the objective, probably looking to see if the card
what's
he
in
wants is in
force.
the force pile. He's also got a U3PO in his hand,
There's a.
which is only going to save him 1 damage a turn, but I expect we'll probably see that come down this turn.
I just saw a Houndstooth in reserve deck. How did that get in there? I thought you said you saw that post Grimtosh.
I thought I did.
No, he had Baron and Houndstooth. I
I
thought.
swore I saw the Houndstooth in his hand, but it's hard from this angle.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, so there goes the force push. I'm not quite sure what he's looking for, but obviously he had something in mind if he's checking his reserve deck first.
After he drains, so that's 2 less cards.
Yeah, that might have been a misplay.
That's questionable.
What are you talking about? Oh, not force pushing before drain?
Yeah,
Yeah, so what he should have done is searched with the objective.
he did that, but after he drained.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think
Did he pull 2 admirals, though? He could have looked for an admiral.
That too.
Endor shields turn sideways. I don't know what that means.
I think just once. Yeah, he does play Piet, but we haven't seen Piet, so I think he just got him in hand and never needed the second pull. All right, so Gogolen, I think here he's going to be force pushing for space, and he's going to try and push space. And I think, or else he could be going for ground damage. If he gets an EPP maul, if he can hit Chewie and
Looks like
BB-8.
he's got 12 or 14 force to play
Yeah,
with,
if he has
maybe.
maul and Doctory, then he could do a lot of damage. But even stopping BB-8, stopping another damage. He does
Force
tap
for
maul on
Infiltrator.
And there is Ray there,
Yeah,
so
Ray is
tap
there,
maul is
so
not going to do anything.
Yeah, he's not blanking.
So all that did was add 4.
And Padme is also there.
It added 4 power. He plays firepower so that.
I guess in case of hyper escape.
Yeah.
Which. Yeah, he does have U3PO in his hand. I was.
He plays
to see
lateral
the
damage on
lateral
it.
Damage.
That's pretty good. Let's see if Cellucci has any answers.
He's definitely starting to battle this turn.
So let's see. Slave 1 is power 3 plus 1 for each opponent ship. 4, 3 for Fed is 7, 2 for Oswald is 9, 4 for the Infiltrator is 13-0 right now. And we'll see if there's evacs
we'll probably
and stuff.
see an evac in this battle. And probably also a spin. So he opted not to play the U3PO this turn. Looks like he saved 4 fours, probably because he wants to pay for that spin that's stacked. Probably could not afford to play the U3PO and pay for the spin.
So he swapped something with that. A 7. What 7 does TTO play? Maybe. I think more likely Dark Letters. Well, no, you'd play Dark Maneuvers if you had it, so I don't know. And Image is out. Maybe just a random 5. So yeah, we're looking at power 13 versus 0. Some fodder. I think though Cellucci's still kind of okay with this.
Here.
Yeah, I think Cellucci's still kind of okay with this because he, I mean, this burns a whole nother turn for Gogolen, and then Cellucci gets another round of damage. Drain 1, BB-8, and he can just pinging him down.
I never left because I couldn't move away. So if Cellucci has enough stuff, I could get a Skywalker on there, and he might just like not even move over there where he can get.
Right. He may just be like, I'm power 0. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here and keep forfeiting stuff off of it. Maybe even shuttle up Jedi Luke and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he really does not want to move to Tatooine.
Right. Yeah. The super laser losing everything is probably worse than having to forfeit multiple dudes per battle.
A rock and a hard place situation here.
All right, so he draws Houndstooth is a 2.
Yep.
And Cold
I
Feet's a
guess
5.
Cellucci
So
opted not to use evac. He's got that 7.
So he draws
from
7,
his
5.
trick, presumably.
So that's 12. Ray adds 1, 13, and yeah, so that'll be 14 attrition. But he's 13 power, so he's down by 7 in power with 7 attrition. So he's only going to lose 1 dude.
Does he have a 4/7 character? I thought Han and
Ray.
Ray were both 6. Oh, Ray 7.
Ray 7 and Han 7.
Oh.
Padme's 7. Yeah, he's got a bunch of them.
She's 7.
And he's going to have
Brian Fred repeating how
14
broken
attrition
Padme is. 7
So
forfeit.
yeah,
OP.
that went really well for Cellucci. Gogolen has to lose all in ship cover. Okay, so that's not bad. And then I think Cellucci just has to lose 1 forfeit 7 dude for he was outpowered by 7, had 7 attrition.
I think they didn't add the acclimator attrition because isn't Maul forfeit 7?
Maul's 8.
Maul's 8.
Tat Maul's 8.
Yeah.
The EPP is 7. It was Tat Maul.
Yeah.
So Tat Maul's 8 plus his ship is 6 is 14. So they did cover.
And that's it's just the slave one's about to get hammered this turn. Can he activate?
Well, it's still power 0.
That's still bad.
I don't think he can activate to the 7/5. No.
If he can battle and kill slave one right here.
But he can put another card from his hand back on top of his deck. He's got.
That's true. He can get
a going now.
If he has another 7 in hand with BB-8 out and the Bionic hand there, and there's not a ton of them, but yeah.
But I don't think Cellucci has any incentive to battle though. I think he's content just to sit there and drain.
Two guys left on slave one. If he could kill Boba Fett, he would.
I mean, the other thing here is Han can Jedi love like Anakin back and throw him there with Padme, and
Jedi Levin's lost power.
he does. Yeah, he lost Jedi love early, and he lost an Anakin.
Oh, yeah, the forfeit.
It's looking like he's losing
That's
Padme and Yane. I'm not sure why it was. Is a Houndstooth a 3 instead of a 2? It's a 2. Okay.
Houndstooth is a 2,
yeah, so it should be 7. And you're sure Padme's a 7? Yeah. Oh, he's looking at Ray.
Yeah, I feel like
Ray's
Han
a 7.
and Ray
I
are
think
both
it should
kind
just
of
be 7. I
expendable.
don't
You lose
see
your
anything
second
that adds
destiny,
as dark side adds to attrition. So, but yeah, if
She's still trying to decide what to forfeit, it looks like.
Mike Turner points out how good Padme will be. Brian Fred, imagine Padme if it turns out in episode 9 that she's a Skywalker. Rey is a Skywalker. Padme will become insane. Maybe then they'll errata her.
Maybe then they'll do a reset because she's so strong.
So he's still just deciding what to forfeit here. I think he's counting and tracking, and like I said, Yane's got a lot of decisions to make, and so he's trying to decide how he doesn't want to get blown out in space eventually, and that lateral damage is putting pressure on.
Yeah.
And so he's
It's funny thing, the
Right. Well, not when you can draw two destinies and they're 7/5. And
he's got a lot of little combos going on that ship, and he's got to break up one of them.
if he gets Anakin back and he can add one to each, and then yeah, it can get silly. So he thinks about making a move, goes into the tank some more. Why is he losing 2? Why is it not 7?
Are we missing some source of attrition?
Does anyone in the chat? He drew Cold Feet and Houndstooth.
Maybe Houndstooth is a 3. I swear I'd say
No, I'm almost certain it's a 2.
I'll look it up. Houndstooth. It's a 2. So Houndstooth and Cold Feet should just be 7. So we've got what else is on there? What's sideways next to Ozzel?
That's Jerjerrod, isn't it?
Yeah. So Jerjerrod, Ozzel.
Yes, Jerjerrod, Ozzel, Fett. Did he?
The ship only adds 1 to power for each opponent's ship. It doesn't add to.
We missed or something maybe.
Maybe there was a dark time played to add 1.
Yeah.
you can't
No, it's opponent's destinies. Yeah. Dark time's opponent's destinies.
Houndstooth is a 3.
He runs prepared defenses. Just
I don't know.
floats it in his deck. That would
He forfeits
be
Yane.
Don't take that seriously.
And why is he gonna peel? He's down by 7 attrition and 7 battle damage from what I caught. He's peeling a couple. And he's losing Ray.
5, 10, 14 plus 7 is 21 was.
Did he command?
Gogolen's power
no,
was-
because then he would have evac'd, I think.
Wait, I think we calculated the power wrong because Gogolen would be 21, right? To Cellucci's 13. That's
No.
21 to.
that's only 8, I guess.
That's.
Well, 1 plus 1 attrition is 12 power.
13
And Ray adds
power
1 to the
from
total.
Ray.
13 power. 13 power versus he was 4 from all.
So what did Cellucci lose
Ship
here?
was
Ray
force
and
8,
Calfal?
12, 13 plus 7 is 20. 20 to 13 is 7. So
Well, plus 1 more from the slave one.
yeah.
21.
I counted that.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not.
So he lost Ray and
Calfal.
Yane and peeled 2
Oh, he
somehow.
lost Ray and Yane?
Yeah. All
I
right.
have no idea what just happened.
All of us are confused. Maybe someone in the chat figured it out, or maybe it was just a mistake on their massive miscounting. He didn't cancel one of those. I don't know. I think it was a
close
mistake.
call we missed or something.
No.
No, 'cause he
Chat's
would've-
also confused. I
yeah.
think they just somehow. That's a weird. All right.
Funny
Erica, Gunn, and Decree go off the top for the ping 1, drain 1, 1.
Do another interview after the game and see what the hell just happened there.
I think it was bad math on their part somehow.
Or there was an interrupt that got played.
Possibly. Padme is a 7.
Say Yane is probably 3 or 4. Did he forfeit Padme or did he forfeit Ray?
Yane is a 3. Oh, yeah. Ray. So Yane is a 3. So 10 plus 2. I don't know how they thought he was down by
14. Right?
12.
12.
For
Well, how, no,
10 forfeit and
overall
2
match,
cards.
so forfeit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he forfeited for 10 and peeled 2. He was down by 12, and we only counted him down by 7. I don't know how we're missing 5 power. Or they are. Unless one of those 2 destinies didn't count. Maybe could the 5 have got canceled somehow, the rose?
I was thinking maybe a close call or something, maybe.
No, but that would only be -3, and we're 5 off. The chat's like, this is making me nuts. Wise says it's technically legal for him to lose that amount of cards.
Technically.
He could forfeit for 3, peel 2, and forfeit for.
Legal but not logical.
maybe he was striking the 7 and he needed to lose those.
Oh, B-Fred says maybe he wanted to lose down. Yeah, look, he only has 3 in reserve right now. He purposely peeled some so that he could, and he kept. But then why don't you keep Ray so her with solo can draw the extra destinies?
Maybe he's going to get Anakin.
Yeah,
So attrition
yeah.
so he can evac.
Yeah, I mean that seems like the most likely thing right here, because there's no way they think he's down by more than 10. You can't math that wrong. He loses. I mean, but Ray still covers. Why not just peel the 2 and then Ray and keep Yane there? I don't understand why that either. Even if you're doing that play, you only need to cover 7. So peel 2 and then lose anyone, whatever. But either way, yeah. Oh, it looks like Hark Chef's aboard now. Some point that happened.
That's a lot of force activation if he lives. So he doesn't
Agnos
battle though.
Agnos thinks Destiny number 2 was to attrition, but I don't think so because there was no Skywalker
Maybe
that
there
we know
was
of.
that Imperial Command limited one of his battle destinies, and they only drew one battle
But
destiny.
but once he plays command to limit you to 1, you'd take evac to limit him as
Yeah,
well.
he would
So
have.
there's no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and he's moving to cancel
He
lateral.
moved Luke up.
And he moved Luke up, so he's gonna lose. I mean, he knows he has a super laser either in hand or on the table. I don't know why you don't just sit there.
I hate that we need a life force total count right now from Gogolen. Just to see if he's close or around
Close
14.
to 14, yeah. So Cellucci, Walkling's Ray. I'm just really confused as to his play. The only reason you'd peel there is to try and get to Destiny's to battle, and then he doesn't. And okay,
I'm a little lost
We
here.
may never get to do that.
yeah,
There
yeah,
was no. Okay, Solo and Ray added Destiny, so definitely two Destinies this solution.
yeah. Solo and Ray
But no
added. There was
Skywalkers.
two
What's going to be
Destinies.
about it? Unless Yana is a Skywalker. uh,
Yane's a Skywalker now.
It couldn't have been a Padme destiny.
Yeah, yeah. No, everyone's confused. I think it was a mistake.
unless Lucy just like
It's fine.
for this game we're playing as though Ray is a Skywalker and moving on.
And uh,
But I'll only draw one battle Destiny.
oh, Bastion says that Steven has a keep your eyes open in hand, so that'll stop the super laser.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he can play that as a just action if Dark battles at Tatooine, and to say
I
no
didn't
no
see that.
weapons firing this turn. Yeah, I didn't notice that in his hand either. That
Skywalker.
But
good
if he
call,
plays a point
Bastion.
man,
So now, yeah, if he has point man,
if I take
I
point
don't.
man, only cancels it on the ground.
Does it at a site?
We'll have to look at point man.
I think you're
We will
right.
do
I
that.
think Point Man only
Somebody
does
pointed that
cancel out
out
of
to me.
sight.
Someone point man that out to you.
Somebody endorsed it.
Battle out of sight.
Yep. Lost during a battle at a site. Cancel. Keep your eyes open. So yeah, so he'll be able to basically move over, cancel the lateral, and then stop the weapon from firing, draw his destinies, and then move back if he needs to or whatever.
That Leia's gonna
He
be really
loses
good.
Leia's. Oh, Leia's blaster is great with Yane because you're like, I stack a 7 on top and then shoot a dude lost.
See, that's the kind of card I was thinking of too.
Emil asked, just got into this, what's up with Yane? So Yane, you probably know the text, but for anyone who's just joining, Yane says you can, if she's with Padme, you can peek at top of Force and Reserve and swap them if you want, or leave them where they are, but once per turn, on both players' turn. And Luke Effect lets you put down a card on your Force. So you Luke Effect a High Destiny, a 6 or 7, and then you Yane and swap it onto top, and then you can do stuff like Leia's Blaster or Evac and then KFC so they get 0 for their Destiny and you have a 7, or, all your good stuff. Whatever you like to do with a 7 on top of your deck.
Lucky Destiny goes down, but he picked up Luke from the docking bay last turn, so he's got plenty of ability to draw and plenty of forfeit.
Yeah. I don't really like picking up Luke there. I don't feel like you need to, but if he has extra Lukes and
Damage, but
yeah, and he does move 3PO over just as extra fodder
feels
in
like a safer
case.
play.
There's no need to. Yeah,
The Mist Hunter gets around the Tatooine game text.
he does. So now they're each getting
Lets him draw two now.
2, but Steven's only getting 1.
Gogolen will get 3.
Oh yeah, this the third sector.
Right.
So he's gonna he'll second sector. He'll limit him to 1 with evac, and then he'll spin, but it'll just be 2 to 1 then.
Gogolen explains
Uh
something.
oh, Emil makes a good point. He says I thought Luke went up for Gravity Shadow, and that might have been it to make Luke the highest ability pilot and assume he's not going to draw a 6 for Gravity Shadow. That would be a good play if that was the case, and that is a
Battle
good
by
thought,
Gogolen
Emil.
just switches Luke's up.
Which now he can just run from the super laser. He doesn't even need to keep your eyes open. He can just move back over to indoor. They're both drains at 2, and TTO's still pinging. Or he can battle, do the keep your eyes open. But there's just again, there's not a need to.
It is to keep your eyes open, but
Do we know if the
I
Super
feel
Laser
like
got
you
deployed?
initiate the battle anyways to make him have it.
I think you want to go check if the super laser's there. It's got to
I
be.
was surprised no battle there, honestly.
Tom says, can Gogolen win this match by not battling here? And I don't think he can. I don't think he can either way. Right now, it's looking pretty grim. That thing is stacked. Yeah, Brian Fred confirms the super laser is out. It's just slightly off camera. I think he needed to go for the battle and the shot. He doesn't know that he has keep your eyes open, and I think he needed to just
make him have it. I can't
force right and try and hit the thing because that's your out is hitting that with the super laser. But now he might have a gravity shadow and he has 6-track or something. But now yeah, you just move back over to indoor, shuttle Luke down, and block that drain of 2. You eat 3 and you're doing 3 and you're happy. So someone in the chat just said, "Hey, can you guys get a better camera?" And I talked with Scott about that yesterday, and he's like, "This is like the best webcam there is. It's a 1080p. Like he thinks it's the best one there is. Is there a better camera that can just plug into a laptop via USB and we can use?" The PC will absolutely get a better camera. We're just not aware of one. Reed advances over Mishki. He apparently won the second game with Black Sun versus TRM. Came back, won that game, won the match.
I mean, the last turn was like, oh, you have no force save at dark time, recirculate, draw back up to the dark time, limited resources.
Oh, jeez.
Like, it was just a pile on.
So,
But just saying.
yeah, Tom says you don't need to use a webcam. Tons of streamers use real cameras rather than webcams. That's what I said to Scott. But if someone listening to this or watching this wants to do research and tell us like this is a better camera, this is going to get us a lot better resolution, the PC will absolutely do that. Right now, Scott, the person in charge of organizing that, thinks that this is the best that there is, and it's clearly not a great resolution. So if someone wants to research and post on the forums and say, hey, this is the camera, Amazon link, whatever, that would be great. Yeah, more resolution would be awesome. All right, yeah, so as Yane mentioned, Rose came down, Leia came down, and she gets a use pal pull. And so what that means is now, if he runs to indoor and shuttles down Luke, he'll be draining 1 at the docking bay. Oh, he just shuttles Luke down there. And Leia goes up, so now he has a Skywalker to go with Padme. Oh, that's true. Maybe that's why he shuttled Luke, just to have a Skywalker. There is another. And he doesn't move just because he does have the keep your eyes open. I don't know why, though, because they're both drains at 2. You might as well block, I guess, so he can shuttle, but I don't really like that. He could just clear him out and blow out and win it. So he plays, right here he plays, we're Doom combo to mean he doesn't lose any to TTO this turn. Relatively unprotected says you lose no more than 1, but that, he is not, but he looks like he's going to decline to grab it, because if he wants, yeah. So, but even the math here, Cellucci's draining 2 and pinging 1 with BB-8, and Gogolen's draining 2 and pinging 1 with TTO, so it's 1 and 1. He does grab it. But Rose is now retrieving 1, so even the math is in Cellucci's favor. Not even counting, he moved over. It's right under Rose.
Do we confirm or not that Cellucci has We're Doomed?
He just played the combo.
Oh, but he might have 1 and 1.
He might have 1. So Darth Maul comes down to the indoor docking bay.
Justin Desai has asked about putting Reed on camera next.
Reed is going to be the winner, facing the winner of this match for the next game on camera.
Oh, okay. Is that who decided that? Hayes. Okay. So it looks like it will be Cellucci's Yane deck here versus Black Sun will be in some order combined with the No Idea deck from Reed versus Cellucci's Senate. So we'll get to see that up next. Harpster wants an update on Werfs. B-Fred's running over to see that. All right, so U3PO comes down to block that drain. There's sorry about the mess in. Oh no, it's stacked on evac. I was gonna say in lost, but one got stacked on evac. And there's probably a Gorn floating around, but yeah, that's. Oh, and BB-8 he's gone down to 1, yeah, and then Maul came down to the docking bay so that he. he can drain. Gogolen can drain free and do an extra damage there.
Cellucci's got an answer for that. Looks like he activated all of his force, so. Oh no, he's got it in his hand. Never mind. So you think we'll see Cellucci battle Darth Maul here, try and make him keep paying for those drains?
Yeah, so there's one interesting thing.
Tom has shadows in effect with guys at 3 different Coruscant sites. Worf's is on the 0 side of old allies, and I think just lost everything he had in a battle.
Worf's is getting stomped from. Oh man, you ruined my. I was about to predict this. So I was going to say one interesting thing is that Gogolen just lost Gik and Cellucci plays Nabaran. So if he Nabarans over and beats up on Maul,
It's expensive, but worth it.
he pays 6, and if he can hit Maul and draw High Destiny, he can. Oh, Tarkin's Orders cancels the Nabaran, so that
I was wondering if that was going to happen.
stops that.
I think I might just play
Tarkin
one
Orders a
Tarkin.
common card
One
this year
Tarkin.
in
Any
TTO?
deck I have a system.
It can be because, especially if you're playing Naboo as your system, you can loop it for the battle plane strain,
Right.
or maybe not loop it if you don't have Forlom, but track it. It's a good card.
Like that, it should play any deck that has like ground sites related to your system should just play one of it. Yeah, I mean Nabaran and Clash are the 2 biggest like game enders in the meta. So I'm gonna check on
Cellucci
the-
just spent a whole bunch of force for nothing. That feels pretty bad, and so I don't think he's going to be able to deal with that Maul this turn. So we'll get a turn of free drains in.
Right.
Only amounts to a couple
Though he
force.
can shuttle some dudes up, move over, and then next turn shuttle them down, I guess, or maybe just next turn solo the Nabaran from Lost, and try and beat up on him again.
Abrams unique.
It's not, but I don't think he has the force to afford to send them over again.
That doesn't look like he has much left there.
Yeah, Chat's pointing out Tarkin's Orders also cancels It Could Be Worse, which basically kind of makes it like a grabber against old allies or things like that. And yeah, Emil thinks you definitely include it in TTO. So yeah, I think right now Gogolen's poised to do 4 damage a turn, and Cellucci's only doing 1 and retrieving 1, but they're pretty low on life force. He's ahead in the match, and he has options. He has that solo to do that Nabaran beat later and things like that. So, and he still has stuff like on the edge and tricks like that.
It's looking like Pete's going to lose the second game, but not by enough. So he's
It's looking like Pete will probably lose to Keith, but since he won the first game, it's looking like he'll probably win the match overall in advance.
which sucks
Over.
because I'd like to see both the Scarif and the lightsaber combat on the feed. We need to get the PC to set up like 2 computers, so like one person would be going during one and one on another.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing.
Justin Desai says maybe Cellucci will play a Y-wing in front of all of Chris's ships, not have a Hujix, and pass. That would be a pro play, and then still win the match, still win the game.
Comes out, you interview him, ask him if he has a Y-wing.
Justin Desai, well played. So Gogolen, he's in an advantage state in this particular game, but it's still probably not enough to win the match, and so he still is forced to do suboptimal plays. Yeah, so he's taking a battle. Keep Your Eyes Open comes out, and Cellucci top decks Hear Me Baby, and then Han's going to be able to play that Keep Your Eyes Open a second time on a subsequent turn if he needs to.
I'm curious why Gogolen didn't make this battle a turn or 2 ago when he had the chance.
Yeah, I think he should have. So command
Because then he can do it again.
to probably add or cap. Either way, he's going to evac then. So he takes the Sorry About the Mess, which you're going to want with Chewie to kill the 3PO if you can, unless he has an imbalance combo to cancel.
Gogolen's only
He-
got 2 cards in his hand, it looks
people think he made a mistake with the Nabrin, and I don't know if he did pay the 6 force, and I thought he put.
So Cellucci
Oh,
draws
yeah, he paid and then it was
a
canceled.
6 and a 7. I'm not sure
Um,
which was the Padme one, whether he added to power or attrition. Those are good draws.
yeah, so that's 13.
He
There's no
probably
Ray
added to
anymore.
attrition, I would guess. And the
Yeah. Oh
6
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. You would definitely add to attrition,
so the 7 would be the Padme Destiny then, and the 6 would be the Battle Destiny.
and then the acclimator will add one, so that's gonna be 14.
Right. And then
Had
Cal Foul's still there, but spin negates Cal Foul, right?
Well, yeah. Did he spin? He paid 2 to stack. Yeah, yeah. So Calfel's not gonna do anything. Um, so Ozil, Deirdrod, and Zuckus have to die,
That was a lot of attrition.
and then Solo and he's debating. He does have Ray there. Leia. It looks like Leia will die. Not sure about that decision because Padme is good. Yeah, he Harkchef. That's a better card to lose. And now Cellucci can battle back. I mean, even if Baron moves over, he's got a 6/7 now that he can just clear everything. So I think we're gonna see a handshake pretty
Yeah,
soon here.
down to that point. I guess that's why Gogolen didn't battle because
He's I think right here he's got a hope for, and I think losing Solo was a mistake because of that keep your eyes open and lost pile.
was that solo even?
He lost Solo and then Harkchef, and I think he should have lost like Leia or anyone except Solo, and used Solo to keep your eyes open from Lost.
He obviously doesn't want to lose Leia or Padme. He likes that Destiny that
Right,
gets
but
around evac,
but
he's got
with
other options. You're right.
Ozil's gone, so there's no way he's going to be Captain Destiny. So Solo and Rey will draw your 2 Destiny. I mean, I guess you might want to evac to limit him to 1 and KFC, but just soloing for that, yeah, you can lose Rey there and then keep Padme for the attrition, Padme Leia for the attrition, but then solo to keep your eyes open. So he's sorry about the mess, but he does have the imbalance combo to cancel. I think they're pretty low in life force, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gogolen's already below 14.
Yeah, he's only got a handful of cards in his hand, and don't have an exact count, but his decks are looking pretty thin as well. Looks like Cellucci does a 3PO. Playing it on the edge.
Ah, that's going to get a good chunk back. There is a secret plans out. And so he pays. And he might have.
Secret plans, but no code clearance.
Yeah.
So that Rose retrieval will keep going.
So, and then he can use Rose to retrieve the on the edge. And so now 3PO can get the on the edge back.
Yeah, I think you're right about that handshake.
I think he just tried to pay 1 to move to indoor, but it's +1. I didn't see him use 2. That looked like 1 to me.
I was not paying close enough attention there, but even if he has to stay at Tatooine, I don't think it's. Well, I guess it could be if he shoots that thing.
If he
back.
shoots it and he has no keep your eyes open,
Yeah,
that
he lost
that could be
Solo,
big.
so it's-
But how many?
so
1,
lost
2,
Pilot.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Gogolen has about 13. He's right around that 14 mark. But even if he shot it, I mean, I guess if he shot it down and
Had a canceller for the sniper, which he didn't actually even play, I guess, because it would have messed up his tracking.
oh, there goes that on the edge again. I think he probably should have tracked that and 3PO'd for it.
Or maybe Gogolen was tracking it and sequencing his damage just such that he couldn't.
Oh, Tom Kelly points out it's cost -1 to move from Tat and +1 from indoor, so it costs 1 exactly.
That makes sense. So Gogolen's got 1 card in his reserve deck and has
And about
caused his damage
12
for the
force
turn.
active.
Looks like he's considering his options here,
But he doesn't have enough ships to split, and so then he can just keep running in space, and even if he's just pinging with BB-8 and retrieving with Rose, Cellucci's life force has got to be 20, 25. That edge.
I feel like he's only got about 12 in his life force and like 3 in his hand.
Reed did advance over Mishki.
Yeah, Reed is playing the winner of these two.
Reed is going to play the winner of these two on the stream next.
Onto the Slave 1 and then moves it to Endor.
And then moves the Death Star so he can fire the super laser. And if Cellucci was tracking that, and Corrin's on top of loss, so that U3PO is just such a pain. If Cellucci was tracking that solo that got retrieved with the edge, he could 3PO for it, and then either next turn's solo, the edge again, but also like sorry about the mess or things like that, or the Jedi Lev to get Corrin. Worf's just scooped against Tom Hade, so Tom Hade is advancing, and it's looking likely we'll play Pete next game, but we're not 100% sure about that yet. Tom Hade's light side was Diplo. Yeah, Diplo against lightsaber combat.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not pulling for the news like Darkseid because that is my favorite, one of my top 2 favorite Darkseid decks. I really hope. I tried to ask them if they'd let me design OS2 there are, but they like never told me if they would or not.
Is that the one that Sidious pulls? Yeah, so they won't because Taco Bell gets to do that. So he designed the Lord Sidious that pulls it, and he's gonna design the Always Two There Are. But he posted somewhere on the forum. You posted like, can I design that? And he's like, no, you can't. But if you have any ideas, PM me.
I didn't understand what the hell he was talking about.
Oh, that's because he gets to design it, as far as I know. So yeah, message Taco and tell him your ideas. Oh, USA Gamer says, didn't Cellucci take Sorry About the Mess off evac? And he did, but then it got imbalance comboed. No, it got imbalance comboed last turn. Yeah, so it was canceled.
So is Gogolen under 14? Do we know this?
Yeah, he's definitely very low. He's got like 8 cards in his life force and looks like maybe 5, 6 in his hand. Nearest I can tell.
So he moves over the ship and shuttles up Luke right now with just the ping retrieve with Luke or with Rose and ping damage with BB-8. He's just whittling him down, staying alive.
I think Gogolen might already be below.
Gogolen has like 5 cards.
So, yeah, they're just playing it out.
He's hanging on to try and just win a game. Nobody likes to just scoop it.
Yeah, you wanna play it out, but yeah, TTO's not gonna have any retrieval. There's not gonna be any way you can get back up.
I thought I interested on the edge. That's pretty cool.
You do what?
Oh, Cellucci on the edge.
Oh yeah.
I've seen him play it like twice.
Yeah. Well, he played it a turn or two ago, and then Rose retrieved it, but then he top decked it again. But he did already play it once, and then Rose retrieved it too.
Yeah, played in the control phase. Used the edge.
Yeah, and you don't even need to track to activate to something, because you can literally just activate everything you want, put it down, swap it over on the edge, retrieve the on the edge. Like there's some silly tricks.
As long as you got like 9 force.
All right, so Tarkin comes down to battle Leia and Padme, who had shuttled down from the Acclimator, along with the EPB Maul that was there. And so Maul takes a swing and draws an 8 and hits Leia. And Padme will add a Destiny to attrition, I'm sure.
It looks like he does not have enough draws in his reserve to swing again.
Evac, he pulls up a Yane.
You mean if I do commentary for the regames? There's that bionic hand again that he's been tracking.
Yeah, and that's the game.
Yeah, they scoop. And all right, we're gonna. Pete advanced as well. So we have our top 4. We're gonna stop recording and take a short break, and then probably start the next game in like 10 minutes.